Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. $350 million lost by veterans last year alone. That's a huge number. $350 million. That would do well in your pocket, I am sure. So let's talk about this because there is an article and some movement in Congress regarding this horrific number. Now, the headline here on the Federal News Network coming out August 7th, 2024 by Eric White at the Federal Newscast. So the headline here is veterans may have more chances for benefits, but it means more opportunities for scammers, unfortunately. This is kind of a public service announcement. There is a little bit to unravel here, and I also want to touch on a letter from Congress that just came out, I don't know, a week and a half ago. It actually came out July 31st, 2024, and I do have a copy of that as well. So, with that, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel in other ways, you can do that by becoming a member. You can go to the homepage. You'll see highlighted members there and a join button. Thank you so much to all you members. It really is a way for you to support the channel if you so wish. And it helps me to find you quicker in the comments. I do my best to respond to your comments or acknowledge them the best that I can. Now, moving on here, the two asks are really, look, let the video run and hit the thumbs up, and that's what tells YouTube to send it out to more people for awareness. So this is actually, I think, important. It's important to understand, and there you'll see as we dive into this a little bit. But I really want you to hold on because I need you to hear some of this stuff. All right, so again, the headline, veterans may have more chances for benefits, but it means more opportunities for scammers, unfortunately. In today's Federal Newscast, veterans lost more than $350 million to fraud schemes last year. Now, it goes on to say, veterans lost more than $350 million to fraud schemes last year. Fraud is on the rise because of the PACT Act, a 2022 law that made it easier for veterans exposed to toxic substances to qualify for disability benefits. So, why? I'm going to stop there for a minute. There's only a little bit left. Why is it easier? Well, because when you hear PACT Act, what you should be thinking of is presumptive conditions. What the PACT Act did was it expanded Vietnam era, so your Agent Orange exposure, presumptive conditions they added two. And then they added a whole host of presumptive conditions for Gulf War as it tied to primarily burn pit stuff. And then there was some contaminated water stuff as well. But the reality here is that when you hear somebody say PACT Act, or you say I'm filing a PACT Act claim, what that means is that you're filing a presumptive condition claim. A presumptive condition that's listed in the PACT Act based on your period of service and where you served and location and all that stuff. So why is that important? Well, a presumptive condition eliminates the need for a nexus. Okay, so that makes it very easy for you to provide the proof necessary to get service connected. You just need to prove I served in this location during this time period, and here is the presumptive condition list that's associated with that time period and location, and here's a condition that I have. Here's my diagnosis. VA will go ahead and service connect you at that point. So moving on, let's see what they say here. It says scammers are charging hefty fees to veterans who seek assistance to file a PACT Act claim with the VA. Don't ever, if you can avoid it, right? If you've already done it, you already have. But if you're thinking about filing a claim that's associated with the PACT Act, that means that it's a presumptive condition. You should never, ever pay anyone to help you with that claim. Now, I get it. There's a place for paid services. I understand. Look, nobody's going to work harder for you than somebody who's incentivized to do so, or yourself, right? Because you're incentivized to do so. But when it comes to PACT Act conditions, presumptive conditions, those are the easiest things in the world to file for. You can do it yourself. You can find an accredited representative to help you file those claims. It's a very easy softball pitch Now, I will say that in some cases, you need to make sure you're documenting the severity to ensure that you get the appropriate rating. But to get service connected for that condition that's listed as a presumptive, it's not that difficult. If for some reason you're having issues figuring out how to file the claim online, or you need a little extra help, call the VA, ask them. They might be able to point you in the right direction or get you in contact with somebody. Also, you can enlist a family member to kind of help walk you through it, somebody who can read it and kind of interpret what the VA is looking for. Watching these types of videos and so forth will help kind of guide you as far as the evidence aspect is concerned. But again, presumptive conditions eliminate the need for a nexus. All you need to prove is I served in this specific location during this specified time frame, and I have one of these presumptive conditions. Here's my diagnosis. So let's move on in here. It goes on to say a bipartisan group of lawmakers is asking the VA to prevent these scams by making it easier for veterans to find its list of accredited veteran service organizations. And it has a hyperlink here, which is Spanberger urges the VA to crack down on scams targeting veterans. And I pulled up the letter, and it's not that long, so I am going to read it, and there's a bunch of signatures after it, and this is on official letterhead, Congress of the United States, Washington, D.C., dated July 31st, 2024, to the Honorable Dennis McDonough, the Secretary of the Veterans Affairs, and then the address and moving on. So, dear Secretary McDonough, the Sergeant First Class, can't even talk, the Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson, honoring our promise to address comprehensive toxins PACT Act of 2022 represents the largest expansion of veterans' benefits and services in decades. To date, more than 888,000 veterans and survivors across all 50 states and territories are now receiving new service-connected disabilities. We applaud the Department of Veterans Affairs in delivering more than $5.7 billion in earned PACT Act-related benefits to veterans and their survivors. However, the passage of the landmark PACT Act has also led to a proliferation of scammers looking to take advantage of veterans and their survivors. As such, we request an update on what actions the VA is taking to protect beneficiaries from these unscrupulous actors. We are particularly concerned about claim predators, which defraud disability entitlements from claimants by promising high disability ratings or unrealistic claims processing times in exchange for charging exorbitant fees. Such predatory practices include charging high consultant, quote-unquote, fees, stealing a portion of the claimant's VA benefits, or requiring binding contracts involving a percentage of a veteran's benefit payment in exchange for assistance with a VA claim. The most prevalent PACT Act-related scams come via email and online ads claiming to help with the Camp Lejeune settlement. The Camp Lejeune Justice Act, part of the PACT Act, allows veterans and their survivors to pursue compensation if they develop serious illness from water contamination at Camp Lejeune. We are outraged by these despicable acts and ask that you move expeditiously to impede these predators from taking advantage of the men and women who have sacrificed so much for our great nation. Veterans and their families deserve the utmost respect, and we are committed to supporting them after their service and in our communities. While we understand the VA is attempting to raise awareness about these exploitive practices, more must be done to protect veterans from scammers. Veterans are twice as likely to unknowingly participate in a scam as the general population, and veterans often depend on the benefits they have earned for their daily expenses. They have some little citations in there. Moving on. While Congress works to enact governing unaccredited representatives defrauding the GUARD VA Benefits Act, which would reinstate criminal penalties for persons charging veterans unauthorized fees related to claims for benefits, we request an update regarding the VA's action to protect veterans and steps the VA is taking to encourage the use of accredited veteran service organizations. to file a claim. We respectfully ask the VA to respond to the following questions. They have 6 listed here and then a wrap-up paragraph. So, 6 questions. What efforts is the VA undertaking to identify and warn veterans about unaccredited individuals or companies that have a history of engaging in predatory practices against veterans and their families? Is the VA working to improve its website and user experience by increasing the visibility and where veterans can find accredited VSOs, such as through a website header or other user improvements? Has the VA worked to ensure its directory of accredited VSOs are placed higher in search engines results? If not, does the VA plan to take such action? Number 4, what current or future plans does the VA have for public education and awareness campaigns of common PACT Act scams? And how does the VA intend to maximize its outreach to veterans and their families? Number 5, what actions has the VA taken to protect veterans' data and privacy from collection and monetization? Next is number 6, and it is, what other actions, policies, or collaborations is the VA engaged in or will engage in to further protect veterans from PACT Act related scams and predatory practices? We welcome the opportunity for the VA to host a congressional briefing for staff to provide an update on the amount of scams being perpetrated against veterans, current or forthcoming actions the VA will take to protect veterans. It says for these illegal practices, probably means from these illegal practices, and what actions the VA has identified as the most effective in combating unaccredited individuals or companies, if any. Thank you for your consideration. We look forward to working together to ensure veterans and their survivors are not defrauded of the entitlements they have earned. And then it's quite a few different folks. I'm not sure what the signature's in the way of the name. I think it's Magaziner. I'm not sure. Seth Magaziner. I'm not sure. Anyway, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. There's about 28 names from folks in Congress that have signed this letter to the VA secretary. So with that, wanted to bring you up in your awareness. And look, no matter what you think about paid consulting companies with regard to VA claims, the one thing that everybody should agree with is that if it's a simple claim, something like a presumptive condition, you shouldn't need to pay for that. You could easily do it yourself, or you should absolutely find an accredited representative to help you for free. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.